Charles III, bad news. Now, guys, first of all, rest in peace to Queen Elizabeth, who has had a very long stint as the head of the royal family in the United Kingdom. At the time of me filming this video, the United Kingdom is going through their 10 days of mourning from the day that she died on the 9th till the 19th, when I believe is when is going to be her funeral. And it's a very sad time for a lot of people. There have been many a generation who have lived through the Queen of England, who is now supposedly passed on. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about Charles, because for me, for those of you who are aware or who've been on my channel on Queendom TV, first of all, shout out to y'all. I always appreciate all of you guys' support, all of your comments, everything you guys do. The fact that you sit here listening to my crazy ass talking about all this stuff, y'all the real ones, and I appreciate y'all. And if you don't subscribe yet, you should subscribe. So hit that subscribe button. And if I haven't convinced you yet, hopefully I will later in this video. Don't forget to hit that button before you leave. Anyway, so King Charles, I have to be honest with you guys. Like, I always feel like when things happen, and sometimes I have to just ask God, it's like, why is it when stuff happens, I feel like I'm the one person feeling like completely different to the whole world about a situation? And of course, that's why I love my channel, because I get to speak with a lot of people who are like, wait, that's what I was thinking. Although one of my friends did agree with me on this. I am not keen on Charles. I am not keen, nor have I ever been keen on Charles. And that's because the way I see Charles, if you guys want me to be completely, totally, utterly honest, deadly to the point, Charles for me is like that person that was involved with all like the evil people in the world, the most evil ones of them, right? The Illuminatis, the Freemasons, the New World Orders, all those types of people, right? And I feel like all these years, basically, the only reason he's been able to even be so involved in all of this is because he's been like promising them, like, don't worry, one day I'm gonna be king, and when I'm king, I'm gonna make it worth it for everybody, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. Because the thing that people don't understand about the British monarchy, and I've actually done a few videos about this, as you can find in my royal family playlist that I have, and one thing people don't realize is that Queen Elizabeth had way more power than she exerted. And that's because historically, the people, as I always tell you guys, the powers with the people of England sided more with the government as far versus the royals. So although technically the royal family has had more power, you guys, I have a whole playlist, I have a whole video talking about this, explaining it in more detail. So although technically the royal family has more power, the people were siding with the government. And so to be popular with the people, it's now, the relationship has now become where the royal family is inclined to kind of let the government take lead and just agree with what they're doing. But actually, at least this is what I was taught in school, unless this has changed, and this is I was taught in school in the UK, so let's just point that part out as well. The Queen, as she was, or now King Charles, can stop the decisions being made in the government. The king now has a lot of power, more than you might think. And just to give you guys more of an idea of context of the number of people in this world that this man now has a direct influence over, King Charles is the head of the Commonwealth. And there are 56 independent countries in the Commonwealth that equate to 2.4 billion of the world's population. You heard me correcto. 2.4 billion. So this man has practically just stepped into being in control, or having at least a direct influence in 1/3 of the entire world. And he is a head of state in 14 of those countries. And just to let you know, the countries in the Commonwealth realms are Australia, Antigua, Barbuda, Bahamas, Belize, Canada, Grenada, Jamaica, Papua New Guinea, St. Christopher, Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, the Grenadines, New Zealand, Solomon Island, and Tuvalu. So if I were you guys, and if any of you live in any of those places, now is the time to break off from the Commonwealth. I will say that. Well done to Barbados. I don't think this is right, because Barbados isn't on here because they broke away from the Commonwealth. Now is the time to leave the Commonwealth. If you're from any of those countries, now is the time to leave. Because for me, I feel like the Queen was very like, she didn't really, she dotted all her I's and she crossed all her T's and she coloured inside the lines. Do you know what I mean? And So we haven't really seen the royal family kind of use the power the way that they technically can in a long time. And I think what's going to happen now, especially with the climate of the world, where, let's be real and true, the devil's not really hiding himself anymore because everybody's so freaking ignorant and fake woke, or woke and not awake, thinking that they know stuff. Now, greater than ever, is it easy for people who are doing evil in the world to do it in front of everybody and get away with it, because you know why? People aren't going to believe that it's happening anyway, because they've been so indoctrinated by the indoctrination camps, which are called schools, and by the false prophet called the media, and that they don't actually see things for how they are anymore. They've been caught up in woke culture. And on top of that, they're also panicking and in fear and anxiety because of how everything is going downhill, thinking that this all just happened by chance, not willing to acknowledge that the powers that be in the world have been working together to execute this plan on purpose, to create the perfect mixture of you being completely anxiety filled, fear-filled, scared for the future, broke and broken, while at the same time completely believing that the people who created those issues are the ones that you should trust in for the next step, which would perfectly prepare the red carpet for somebody like King Charles III. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. And so I am not excited about this news at all. I was hoping we were going to skip to William. William seems to have been a bit more going out there and saying things that are a bit more controversial for the royal family to say. And when I say controversial, not just controversial for the sake of it, I mean controversial like, you know, this is really important, that the world, these are things that are important morally, and so on and so forth. The other thing that really worries me about this is King Charles III is now the head of the Church of England. Oh my gosh. And I did a video also talking about what that means. You guys can check that video out as well. What this means, in short, for the sake of this video, is what the king of the king, what the head of the Church of England does. They are in charge of, you know, like appointing all, I think it's like the bishops, the priests, I'm not sure, and all these different people. But also, again, going back to what I said before, they're actually influenced by what? The government. So for me, as a Bible believing, spirit led follower of Jesus, it is scary for me, because now again it's another opportunity to just completely exploit, misrepresent, and abuse, you know, Christianity, which we already see being done through the Pope. And so again, from those two things put together, this is a recipe for disaster, if you ask me. Not trying to cast any anxiety onto anyone. I don't think it's worth being anxious about all of this. Just to say that this is what I'm thinking about. So is this something that we should be excited about? Is this a good time? I think everybody should be thinking long and hard right now about what they want to do. If you're a country in the Commonwealth, if I were you, I would leave ASAP before you start to cause too many ruckuses, before you are seen as part of King Charles's 2.4 billion army. We don't know what's going to happen next in all of this. And I know people are probably still like more, and by the way, this information I got from an article on the bbc.co.uk, the information I'm giving you, is they did some big like article explaining this is what it means now that we have King Charles III. Who is he in control of? What is this going to mean? Who now takes what title and what are his titles, and so on and so forth. So I definitely think this is just another one of the many signs that we have taken a violent left turn towards darkness in society, and we need light, and we need the light of the Lord more than ever on earth, which is why I'll continue to share my thoughts, even though it's controversial, even though a lot of British people especially are very territorial, very defensive about the royal family, which I get it, you want to be, but we've really got to look at the facts and the figures and the situations of that, what's going on. What I will say, at the same time as having Charles involved, there is now the new Prime Minister, Liz Truss, who I haven't looked into at all yet, so I won't comment as where I think that's good or bad or whatever I think, but I do think that's going to add another layer of something. I know some people have been apparently saying they think she's going to be like another Margaret Thatcher, so this combination could be very interesting. I think people are hugely underestimating what this decision, what this move is actually going to mean. But we're just going to have to wait and see. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below about all of this. Please also subscribe if you did enjoy it, guys. Please subscribe, okay? The algorithm don't love me, okay? The algorithm don't love me, and the powers that be don't love me because I'll be telling y'all the truth. So the only way your girl is gonna get her voice out to more people is if you support my stuff, share my stuff, subscribe, hit the like button, comment, because that's all I can do. But even if you don't want to, God bless you all. I love you, and I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.